Hey guys, John here. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Diva and Repro, I guess both 5 and 1, but basically we were talking in my Discord about the differences of these two, and what I find kind of interesting is there's times for me personally, and I'll be honest here, I'll load up Repro and I think to myself, this one sounds better to me than Diva. Right. And I'm like, that's kind of a crazy thought there. And then a couple days go by, I load up Diva and I'm amazed all over again at how good Diva sounds. So all in all, they are both different synthesizers emulating different synthesizers of the past. Obviously, I think we all know that. But there's something about Repro that just sounds so right in almost every mix because I find that with this synthesizer, it's easy to fit it within a mix and almost doing the bare bones effort for this one. So there was a song I was working on a little while ago and I loaded up Repro because I was like, I want a nice lead that cuts through the mix. It sounds good. It's not painful to the ear, but it's also bright in kind of presence, right? So you can go about that a few different ways, and I went the easiest path possible. I loaded up Repro. I went right click init preset. I'm like, okay, perfect. We have oscillator A and B in the mix. Both are saw waves. Both are the same octave. What does this sound like? So I used something kind of like that. I maybe gave it a little bit of a release here. Maybe a little cutoff down here, some resonance, some envelope amount. So it's something like that. I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Okay, what else can I add to it? So here's some effects. And speaking of these effects, this is one of these synthesizers where I feel like these onboard effects are so good. And we were also talking about this in the Discord, that these are good to the point where you don't really need to add other stuff to it. I didn't run it through Valhalla like I normally do. I used all the stuff on board. So this Lyrebird is really nice. Let's turn this guy on here. And ping pong again. I love ping pong. And sometimes I went either to the bright or the dark. The dark sounds interesting as well. And especially those higher notes, they sound high, their presence, but they don't hurt the ears. All right, so then now we can add some drench in here that might be kind of interesting. And the distortion is nice as well too. Let's maybe turn this guy on a little bit and see how it sounds. It just has something to it. And then also the Velvet is one of my favorites as well. So we have so many different things to pick from. This A800 vintage is also nice. Let's bring this on here. Now, one thing that I kind of wish was a thing, and I don't know why it's not programmed into here, so maybe I don't know why, but generally I always like using my mouse, right? So we can like move stuff and wiggle things like that. We can change things like this, but for some reason this one doesn't work, and I don't know why that is, but anyway, so we can check some of these other ones out. I keep doing it again, even though it doesn't work. But yeah, so this one obviously sounds really, really good, and that's a kind of whole point. So I'd play around with Repro. I'm like, I really like this, just this vintage sound. It sounds so good. And then we also have the multi-core, and then HQ, and then also what I really like about the one or the 5 and 1 is we have tweaks here, so we can change different waveforms, things like that. There's a lot of interesting stuff that we can change. So that's definitely pretty cool as well. But then hopping back into Diva, I'm like, man, this thing also sounds so good. So we go to a knit preset. Even just 3 oscillators in this section sounds really nice. And this one just sounds meaty as well. So it's hard to decide. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Yuhi synths are just great. I think we all know that. And if you don't have either one of them and you're kind of deciding which one I should get, both are going to be cool. I think at some point, though, the versatility of Diva is going to be probably a little bit greater because, like I mentioned before, in our templates preset, right, we go down our presets and our templates, and we have all these different synthesizers that arranges the modules for you. So you kind of just have that synth, and then you're saying, okay, well, what if I wanted a mini Moog in polyphonic mode, and then I like the filter, but I want to try what it sounds like with the MS-20 filter. So now you have a Moog with the Moog oscillators going into an MS-20 filter with Moog envelopes. So that's also pretty cool. So I guess it really depends on the usage at the end of the day. They both sound fantastic, but I mean, if you're looking for like nice pads, both of them can get you there. Leads, obviously, both can get you there. I guess it's just the flavor at the end of the day. So if you decide to get both of them, then there you go. Problem solved. You have both of them, or technically 3 because you're going to get Reaper 5 and 1. But yeah, so I'm kind of curious what you guys think. If you had to pick one to use, I guess, for whatever you need to, you had to pick Diva or Repro, and that comes with both 5 and 1, obviously. Which one would you pick and why? I'm kind of curious on your thoughts on that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you, I was gonna say learn something, but I don't think we really learned anything. We're just kind of talking here. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.